Okay. I think that's enough time I gave myself here. 3, 2, okay. We got ourselves an asmongold video. Let me move the cam over here. Asmongold's trying to get back into gaming commentary, and he's coming into the world. He's coming back into the World of Warcraft space. It seems here he's not just gonna react to people dying in hardcore WoW when he's too much of a pussy to go and do it himself. He'll only step foot in dungeons with a bunch of people carrying him, obviously, just like he used to get carried in BFA for his box every week. And then he would try to brag about the box live on stream every time, and then McConnell will make fun of him. Don't we remember the good old days? Hey, here who remembers the good old days? Can we get... Hell yeah. All right, so here we got ourselves Mr. Asmongold trying to talk about retail WoW here. Let's give her a go.
One-button auto rotation? Wait, what? Breaking news. Is implementing a rotation assistant? Wait, what? Single button assistant?
I've
Welcome
heard.
Special edition of WoWcast. Where
Maybe I should just give my thoughts quick, just so I don't have to fucking stop and interrupt a bunch. This is terrible for the game. But I shouldn't even have to say this. I mean, come on. Like, what are we even talking about? Are we bevved up? Are we locked in? Are we indoor no-go queuing up? Obviously, the fuck not.
7.1.7 feature, and then a broader discussion about add-ons in World of Warcraft in general. I'm Dratnos, World of Warcraft content creator.
Uh-huh.
I'm Max. I'm the raid leader of Team Liquid, the WoW Guild, and a content creator as well.
And I'm Ian Hazekostas, game director on WoW, and it's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
So,
Very excited to be here.
okay.
So what are we doing in 11.1.7?
A whole bunch of fun stuff, but one of the features that we're extra excited about is a new UI option that we're adding called Rotation Assist, which is really designed...
Okay. I should have planned this better, because I do have a lot of thoughts here. I think the UI implementation of a cooldown tracker is a ingenious idea. Everyone, I use OmniCD. A lot of people use OmniCC as well when you PvP. I use both. This fixes my problem. Having this baseline in the game seems like a no-brainer, especially with edit mode being in the game now. Bag none essentially being in the game now. Bartender is edit mode. Bag none is your bags just being one, just all together. These are little quality of life things that exist in World of Warcraft add-ons that should be baseline in the game at this point, for the game being out for almost 30 years. We shouldn't have to talk about this. Come on now. Yeah. Before I started back up here, the issue, and I think the line they're crossing here, which is I think everyone is aware of, everyone's evident of the conversation taking place, making a one-button garage door opener rotation is not good for the video game. It's not good for the health of the video game. Now, I know Zach's argument coming up here. Maybe we might as well just fucking skip to it. Maybe I should just let the video play until then and tell you what I think about his opinion, and I can interrupt him there, which is probably the better thing to do. Spam pre-watch, spam all that. I made it like 10 minutes into this video and knew I had to make this video right now. So, I'll tell you what I think here in a sec. Let's let them get through everything I just got through.
Help players who are maybe picking up...
Enables highlights that suggest the spell to cast. So it tells you how to play the game?
New spec or want some guidance on what abilities they should be using when, without having to turn to third-party add-ons for it. So we've seen that...
This is a dangerous precedent to set, Blizzard.
Very popular with a lot of players. We're basically building in a very similar version of that into the base UI that you can opt into. That will, no matter what DPS spec you're playing, highlight the recommended next ability given your current energy, what's going on around you, and so forth. One extra
like
thing
my ASMR add-on,
which maybe goes a bit beyond
no, this
what
isn't April
the add-ons
Fools.
can do, is also have a one-button.
Nah, motherfucker, it's May 1st.
Where they'll be.
I know, yeah, it's really like that, huh?
my god!
Yep.
Single button assistant.
Never thought I'd live to see the day, man.
Be like a keybind that if you just want almost an auto rotation,
So you get to play
Auto
the game with the
rotation.
garage door opener now.
There's the meme.
opt into that, and it will just automatically cast the next recommended ability in the sequence. There'll be a small GCD penalty associated with that, but we want to make sure that this is for accessibility purposes, that it's there for people who maybe just honestly aren't interested in the gameplay of like mastering their spec. They want to explore.
I don't want to learn how to play my
experience the
clan.
story, and the mechanics kind of get in the way of that sometimes.
The mechanics are in my
This should
way
be
from
for
having
them.
fun.
Ideally, this is not a tool.
Bro,
where
listen to
someone is,
yourself,
like,
bro.
being told by their raid
I
leader
respect
to
your
stop trying to
opinion.
DPS manually.
Stop. Exactly. He has to cut you off. Like, what are you saying, bro? You're making a video game, bro. A video game.
This is not a tool where someone is like being told by their raid leader to stop trying to DPS manually
Dude,
and just turn on the one button mode to meet some
He starts
DPS
cooking.
check.
This is
That
old
will not
Asmon
give you the
coming
tool.
out.
Of
Watch.
course they would be.
I saw this part pretty much.
No, of course. Ian's wrong. So if no, because okay, so this is what would happen.
Yes. Yeah. Are we ready?
Is
Here,
that
look, chat here?
so? The red line is the artificial one-button DPS, and this is manual. So if you are
Manual.
inside of this area here, you will be told by your raid leader, just turn on the one-button mode, stop trying to play the game yourself. And if you're not in this mode and you're over here, you're going to be told to do it yourself. How does he do the? How the fuck?
Exactly.
Like, these are the best players that have played the game for 20 years. How the fuck do you guys not see this obvious graph?
Yes. Exactly.
What the hell is going on? This is crazy.
Okay, and just before we get into the next part where I disagree with him, just know that I'm a PvP Andy. I'm prefacing that before we start getting spicy. You get it? You understand where I'm going to start coming from? All right, here we go.
Manually and just turn on the someone that sometimes. This should be for them. Ideally, this is not a tool where someone is like being told by their raid leader to stop trying to DPS manually and just turn on the one button.
But it
mode to
is.
meet
It
some
absolutely will be.
It will. Yes. Yeah.
we want to give you the tools to kind
I
of
remember I even did this with my mom. Because she
Everyone
was like,
did-
I don't know
yeah,
how to
yep.
DPS. I say, okay.
And look, cute story. Like I said, pre-watched like 10 minutes of this. Everyone has a cute story. If you grew up playing WoW, I started playing in 05, 06-ish. 06-ish. Yeah, everyone has a story like this. My friends wanted me to play Warlock. They wanted me to play Undead Warlock. They told me to spam Shadow Bolt. I knew dots were good. I'm not a dumb motherfucker, okay? Even at the age of 9, 10, 11, I knew corruption was worth clicking if it was an instant cast ability, okay? Like, yeah. Some let's keep it moving, man.
Hit Starfire. After you're done hitting Starfire,
It's a cute
hit it
story with
again.
his mom, but like I said, everyone has this story where especially in vanilla, if you're a mage or a warlock, for instance, like a caster, your DPS will literally increase if you just start spamming Shadow Bolt or Frostbolt. Okay, it's gonna go up. Spam the max rank. Go Okay. Cap yourself out. Start cast, like he says here. Start casting at the end of your other cast time. Fight the server.
just do that.
they should be looking outside the game to download, and we'd rather just reduce the barriers.
Yeah,
to
don't
that
go
and
get
make
the
it available
add-on.
to
Whoop de
everyone.
woo 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 woo.
This game is so lost. It's actually insane.
Based. Yeah, actually, yes, yeah.
It's actually crazy to me that we are.
I haven't heard from Ian all of the War Within, or at least for a while now. I kind of skipped out on, what was that, Siren Isle patch. I enjoyed Undermine. I'll give them that. I thought the raid was way too easy, but the zone was tight. Like, it was good. The zone was great. The world building there was great. The writing was great. The car was a little jank on launch. They fixed it up. I kind of actually like the stupid little car now. I haven't heard from Ian, though, voice his opinion recently on certain hot topics. And this is a spicy one, man. He's taken he's, as the entire development team, they're setting a precedent that as the community here, we do need to draw a line in the sand. I'm cool with the cooldown tracker, but this is too much. This is too much.
Even in this position, it is so cooked that I can't even believe it. So
they cook too much, they burn it. You feel me?
why don't we try to employ a little bit of higher level thinking here? If the problem is that you need an add-on to play your character, maybe you should make characters easier to understand and play. That maybe you don't need 50,000.
I know we disagree here, okay, but I don't think so, man. I don't. There are people like me, you know, that love delving into the depths, if you will, of RPG character design. The people who enjoy Path of Exile, right? We exist, man. And WoW, retail, the War Within talent trees, they're not the passive skill tree, bro. It's not even close. They're still pretty fucking cookie cutter, okay? It's not cookie clicker like to a T, but it's not fucking rocket science, bro.
Fucking buttons and rotations and pop-ups and, you know, special, you know, like, that's it. So basically they're creating a problem and now they have to solve.
No. I disagree with the whole premise here. They didn't create a problem. Have you played Enhance this season, Asmon? Have you played a Rogue spec this season? Have you played a proc spec this season? I don't think so, man. I'm sorry. I don't know where you're coming from with this, man.
Solve the problem that they've created.
No. There is no problem.
It's insane.
If you're a vet, even if you've been playing this game for more
all
than
Blizzard had to do
if you've been playing this game for more than 3 years, bro, this is not a problem in the game.
was make a wheel. But they couldn't do a wheel. They had to make a hoverboard. In order to make a hoverboard, you have to have the right kind of wood. And then then you need a seatbelt for the hoverboard because sometimes people can fall off the hoverboard. And what if the hoverboard goes too fast? Okay, well, you have to have a speed limiter on the hoverboard. And then on top of that, what are you going to use for fuel? How much is the fuel going to cost for the hoverboard? And this is all, we're doing all of this stuff instead of just thinking about how to make a wheel. It is crazy. The amount of gymnastics.
It's crazy that the analogy here is just like so fitting of like your rant, man. The wheel is an RPG class. It's a warrior. It's a death knight. It's a rogue, bro. There is a lot of nuance to the differences between a death knight and a warrior class fantasy. Okay, it's not just a hoverboard versus a bike versus a skateboard. It's not like that. It's not all the pieces that go to make a hoverboard. The fucking seat. Like, what are you saying? What are you fucking saying, man?
Gymnastics that they're going through in order to appease these top 0.001% players that play the game as a job instead of making.
Again, man. Yeah, where did this come from? Why? I understand that Dratnos, I get it. Both of these two dudes are like the 1% players. Me myself, I don't want to toot my own horn, but been in the 1% before for warrior and warlock in the game. The 1% of this stupid ass fucking dog shit ass game, we're not trying to tell Blizzard what to do. They're asking these two motherfuckers what they should do, and they have a bad idea. And guess what? They're drinking the Kool-Aid. That's what's going on, man.
Making the game better for everybody. This needless, unnecessary complexity that can only be...
Dude, the game has gotten less complex, less since Legion. What are you saying? Like, the only time it got close to Legion was the end of BFA with corruption. Like Shadowlands maybe with Zereth Mortis there at the end. It's always like that end of, the borrowed power stacks up at the end of an expansion in World of Warcraft. Everyone knows this. The level of complexity hasn't been Legion levels of complexity since Legion, bro. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Solo queue arena is not that bad. It's really not. It's you have Omni CD, Gladius, and Omni CD in like details. You might need one or two more things, maybe, but you don't need them. You don't need them to play well, to click your fucking buttons. Like, yeah, man. This like complexity argument, the game is hard and they made it hard and now they're fixing the problem. Like, yeah, man.
Basically responded to with further needless, unnecessary complexity and weird systems that simply remove gameplay from the game. It's insane. How the fuck did this happen?
Okay, there has been so many systems in the lifetime of World of Warcraft. I would love to know what you think they're removing. I get what you're saying here, like, the removing you playing your class and clicking one button. Like, there is an analogy for like solo shuffle versus arena, like, finding your team. But let's be honest, who the fuck, like, I mean, everyone was just by Mr. Pandaria, or Cataclysm, right? Everyone's using the LFG tool anyway. If you didn't have a friend still playing the game, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because there's two parts to it, right? Like the advanced is, I want to really go into this, is the one button thing, but that's not necessarily everyone that's going to use this. Like, I think this game, especially new players getting into it, there's a lot going on within a particular class, and you can be a little lost.
Okay, let me try to sympathize with the casuals here. RPGs with Legion, we'll just keep it in World of Warcraft for right now. RPG games with the level of complexity that World of Warcraft Legion have are overwhelming. They are, especially if you don't know the base fundamental systems that make the game. Your stats, your gear, your items, your everything that makes your talents, your spells, your abilities, everything that kind of makes your character what it is.
Lost, trying to figure out exactly what I should be pressing. So even just using it as...
Then shouldn't you address that problem rather than introduce a solution to remove it? I think that's a design problem. If a person can't easily understand how to play their character in a video.
The word you're searching for is intuitive. Yes, it should be intuitive, and they're getting better at that. In my opinion, I just lump intuitiveness of like learning the gameplay rotation into that, or I'd lump it into quality of life, because when you boot up Counter-Strike, bud, it's not telling you to shoot the dude in the head. When you boot up Diablo 2, it's not telling you to go talk to, what's her fucking name, and get Deckard Cain, right? You're walking over there, you're clicking on the zombie. The intuitive part is very complex. There's a lot of nuance there. And the game is old, and they're trying to add that level of nuance and appeal to casuals. So a lot of that complexity has actually gone out the window. A lot of that mystery has gone out the window.
Video game, maybe that's a problem with the way the game is designed. Duh.
Like as a guide to start learning your class and move off of it eventually, but just having a base understanding of what actually should I be doing at a base level.
If I play retail,
Look, if you need, basically, here, hold on, we need to address what he just
video
said.
game, maybe that's a problem with
To start learning your class and move on.
Right. Okay. So if you need a literal list of your rotation to grasp your rotation, just log out, man. Like if you need, and then you need it to be on one button, go play a different game. Please, man. Please just go and play a fucking different game. If you don't have the willpower to learn the gameplay rotation, the game is not for you.
Of it eventually, but just having a base understanding of what actually should I be doing at a base level.
if I play retail WoW again, I'm 100% just using this button. I'm
Look, and that's the problem, man. And here's the big problem: is you're literally turning your game into an auto battler. Like you're turning your game into a theme park garage opener clicker. That's what it is. You could like Wiimote with a garage opener, like get a like motion sensor in that bitch, and you could play World of Warcraft with it now. Like that's where we're at.
I'm putting it on spacebar too.
Of this.
That's really exactly the motivation on our end. I mean, especially with warbands and War Within, we see lots and lots more alts, and leveling is pretty quick. You got a bunch of warbound until equipped gear that you're passing over to a new character, and just jumping into their full rotation. We've never played the spec seriously before. Can be a pretty serious.
Are people's attention spans that fried? People can't read the button they want to click in the video game anymore. You don't want to know what lightning bolt does anymore. Like really? That's where we're at, man. Like even PoE 2 tried to make it like intuitive and then give you a little video like earthquake, rolling slam.
Undertaking. And for some people, this may be enough for them, and that's fine too. But we recognize that there's so much. WoW has such a high skill ceiling that just recommend.
Why?
Because it's a almost 30-year-old game. Look at Counter-Strike, Zach. Look at League of Legends. Look at Dota. Look at... Do I need to keep... Quake. Look at all these games. StarCraft, Warcraft, Command and Conquer. Do you want me to keep going? Tekken. Street Fighter. Super Smash Brothers. Do you want me to keep going down the line of fucking esports, man? Do you understand the competitive nature of video games? And I know you're going to say that World of Warcraft isn't a competitive game. Well, guess what, buddy? You grew up playing it. Guess what? It is one. Remember that old meme, put the war back in Warcraft? Remember the old meme where PvP is the real game? And that's the truest shit you ever heard? Because it is. Remember in the original trilogy? Remember you'd go get your trinket? Remember back in the good old days when you PvP, you need to get that one PvE trinket? That was that good shit, wasn't it? That was that good ass shit.
For who? For these people that you constantly talk to, that are these people play your game as a job. And you're constantly listening to them on how to maintain that complexity.
They're not. You have to understand that. You probably understand it better than anybody. This is a business, man. Right? Like you're right. They're getting paid right now to do this, to talk about this. Right? They're asking them what they think about their decision, and they have to be public about it. Do you get it?
This is so distorted, it's unreal.
What the next ability is isn't going to really remove that or fully solve that. There's still the muscle memory that you need to form, and then all of the nuances of, like, we might have a recommendation for a rotation that makes sense if you're fighting a target dummy, you're fighting patchwork, but when you need to plan around the fact that you're going to have to move in 4 seconds, that's a whole
Cleave.
different, like, layer of skill that still rests
Is
with
there
players.
more than one target in
Yeah,
front
when
of me?
I'm trying to, you know, play a new
Do I need to
spec for the
strafe
first
left
time,
or
I haven't played
right?
in years, it often feels like I've got like a 30-minute checklist of, okay, I got to set up my keybinds, got to make sure, oh, this ability's changed since 2 expansions ago.
They're so close. They're so close. They almost understand. You're so fucking close to solving the problem.
I got to rebind that, and then I got to go and read some guides and figure out how
Binding
my
is
new
not
rotation
bad
works, and,
nowadays,
here's
the
how the
edit
new set
mode.
bonus works. So I could see it being really nice to just have a.
The set
So
bonus
it
is
would be
in
really
the
nice
game.
to just have a button that just does everything for you.
No, exactly. Like, it tells you what the set bonus does in the game, dude. Like, I don't know what.
Why not make it easier so you don't need the button? Like, what the fuck is it? This is...
Yeah, I hear you.
This is a way to jump into some content to do with your friends and
Yeah.
have it work out nice and easily.
Is that right?
One thing that jumps out to me is that a lot of the content I'd want to do would be like delves or keys. And in either of those cases, there's a lot of AoE.
Yeah.
Is this going to have a, you know, are we going to detect whether
Cleave.
we're fighting
Oh my God,
3
let's talk
targets,
about
5
it.
targets, and is it going to cast my Arcane Explosion instead of my Arcane Blast? Or
It should be
is
able
it just
to.
always going to be a single target?
It's not just single target.
All
There,
right.
there is, you know, some sense of, you know, how many enemies are within your range, in front of you, etc. And so that will affect the recommendations. Again, the goal is not optimal. The goal is not like this is gonna, you know, okay, everyone's always gonna get perfect parses and so forth going forward. But as a baseline, this should be, you know, it should be useful the same way that many, many people find Hakila useful today. And it really, like, a lot of this building on.
Don't put the button in. Please. Like I said, I'm cool with it tracking the cooldown. I'm cool with it showing you what the optimal button to click is. I'm cool with that. It changing the binding for you over and over again and you clicking it is a bit much.
The foundations of the cooldown manager.
This game is so cooked, it's actually insane.
Okay, bud. This is an arcane mage. What is wrong with having that many buttons in a fantasy RPG game? What, do you want to go play Diablo 4 and have 5-6 buttons? What, do you have to go play Last Epoch and have 5-6 buttons? Is having more than 10 buttons just too much for your little pea brain to handle? Do you have to go put on Donald Trump for another 2 hours? Like, what are we talking about, bro?
Oh, the arcane mage is too hard to play. I can't play arcane mage.
Fucking
I'm
retard.
looking... You know what?
I'm looking at purple spells and a couple frost spells. Oh no, not Cone of Cold. Not Frost
Real
Nova.
ones remember this.
I'm gonna pour the salt on my head because he has Frost Nova on his bars.
Shut the fuck up. You fucking... Dude, you're washed. You're so
It's
washed.
the same one.
Yeah, we get it. Okay,
It's- and you know it's the same one.
Ooh, you ate a roach. Wow, you're fucking Tyler the Creator, bro.
That just came out in 11.1.5 kind of reflects us hearing people in the community telling us that they feel like they need to seek out these third-party resources just to play the game at, like,
They're babies is what they are. Ian Hazakasa's... Have you ever heard the phrase, wolves don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep? Yeah.
You know what this is like? This is like watching an advertisement for one of those scam phone games where it's like a guy with a machine gun is moving back and forth, and one of them says add 100 and it says subtract 1. And then he goes into the one that says subtract 1 and he dies. It's like, it's so easy. It's so everybody can see what you're supposed to do.
It's got like the little like dude like with the chain and he's trying to get the gold and there's a minotaur. I know exactly.
Is that where we want the game to be in the long term, and what can we do to build in native solutions to many of these problems?
Like the base construct of it, there is a, this will help you learn what you're supposed to do if you are new. And then there is a, hey, I don't want to be the best player at this game. That's totally fine. I play it for a different reason.
Look, oh my God.
Effective.
Okay, there's a difference there. Hold on. Let me fucking find where the
You're supposed to do if you are new. And then there is a, hey, I don't want to be the best player at this game. That's totally fine. I play it for a different reason. I want to collect things. I want to like understand the story. I want to.
Okay, yeah, here we go. It's cool. It is okay to like the lore of World of Warcraft, even after Dragonflight, even after Shadowlands, even after we threw the baby out with the bathwater, okay? It's okay. You're allowed to be into things. You're allowed to be a nerd. You're allowed to have hobbies. You okay? It's okay, all right? I still indulge into the World of Warcraft lore to this day, or just general Warcraft as a franchise lore. I enjoy a lot of the stories that were told in the universe, or whatever we're calling them nowadays, okay? That doesn't mean what I'm trying to say here is someone who comes to the game, a casual, if you will, a theme park enjoyer, if you will, comes to the game and they want to play Arcane Mage and have a good time. We just saw all of Arcane Mage's buttons, right? It's really not that much, okay? It's really not that bad. I'll tell you, I've played Arcane Mage this season. It's really not that bad, okay? Truthfully, it's really not. You got Blink, you got your Nova, you got Orb, you got fucking missiles, you got Blast. Like, it's really, you got your big CD. I don't even know, Temporal, whatever the fuck. I don't even remember the fuck some of this shit's called. I know what it looks like. I know what it does. I know what binding I click for it. It kills shit, all right? You shouldn't have it to tell you to pop fucking this and then click fucking missiles. And if you want to have that assistant to tell you what you should click, I'm all for it. I really am. Okay? Put it in the game. But that theme park enjoyer that maybe wants to check out raiding with a guild in Heroic because you made normal mode a fucking walkover, like a literal fucking farming simulator. If you're going to make raiding at normal difficulty that easy, what is the point of LFR in this new difficulty? What's the point? If someone's going to play World of Warcraft and raid in it, they have a friend that does it already at Heroic or Mythic level. And if they actually give a shit this season, they're doing Mythic because you made the raid way too fucking easy. Making the game so easy that we're having this conversation is not how you're going to bring WoW back. It's not.
On a quest, I'm on a level, right? And I don't want to feel like I can go into any content and I just don't really know what I'm doing. I feel anxious about that. Like you have the ability to just be like, okay, well, at least Blizzard's got me. You know, I can do something at a base level where I can press one button and just kind of hang out and play the game. I have one question.
No, man. Jesus Christ. They're so lost in the sauce, dude.
About the actual rotational thing. So is that going to like change with talents? So like, let's say, is it going to work off the base talent build, or let's say you select a talent that now moves
talking about,
AoE
dude?
button into your single target rotation? Is it going to be smart enough or planned to be smart enough to incorporate a bunch of different potential talent builds?
The goal is that it's aware of your talents, and the logic is conditional based on what you do or don't have talented.
How is it that you guys don't get this?
No, but for real. Yeah, like...
This is... Honestly, When will WoW players stop eating shit? Listen, if Blizzard needs, all right?
Just because you ran away from the community that made you, that literally made you, that doesn't mean that you aren't a WoW player anymore, dude. Look around your room. Look around you. Like, are you serious? You are a WoW player, bud.
I will take a month off of my stream and I'll fix the game. Okay? I have to be able to stream
I doubt it.
a period of time, but I'll fix the game. And you're not going to like what I do, but I'm going to fix it. Just give me autoplay. The thing is that here is the paradox of autoplay. If a game requires autoplay, why do you have gameplay that's so meaningless that people don't even want to do it? That's the same problem here.
Yes.
And
But no,
ironically-
it's not the same problem. It's not the same problem here. It's just I love that I froze you on a funny frame here. That's not the problem here, man. I disagree with you. The problem here is the exact problem just happened with the new Path of Exile 2 season. It's dopamine addict babies on the internet not getting their ooh woo 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 we are happy points. They're not getting their little dopamine points. They're not getting their I win today points. They're not getting their I'm validated on the internet today points. And they're sad about it. They died in their video game. They can't kill the boss. Ugh, I'm so mad. And now I want autoplay. Now I want to play Genshin Impact and run around and have weeb fun all day, every day. And never stop as long as I keep swiping my credit card.
A Korean MMO figured this the fuck out with Throne and Liberty.
Throne and Liberty is a trash, garbage tier MMO. Like, what are you saying?
It's like
It's slop. It's literal Eastern slop is what that game is, dude. And you're over here stroking its dick.
game assist. Yes, pay to autoplay. Well, yeah. I mean, I listen. I have an E6 S5 fucking Acheron in Star Rail. Okay.
What does that mean? No one cares. What the fuck does that mean, dude? No. Did you just say you got chrome truck nuts on your 1984 fucking Ford F-150? No one knows what the fuck you just said, and no one gives a fuck either, bro.
Okay. Like I couldn't afford my car because I bought that character.
Good decision. Good one.
So I understand it, but at the same time, this is a garbage Chinese gotcha trash.
At least you said it.
Pay-to-win piece
You
of
paid money
shit
on it.
game.
Hey, you spent money on it, not me.
I expect more out of World of Warcraft.
What do you expect out of the game you haven't touched in years, bro? That you've only shit on, and you're going and playing gotcha games and saying they're better. Why do you think this is happening right now? Why do you think this is happening? Like, are we all taking fucking crazy pills, or are we always snuffing fucking asmongold's farts over here on YouTube? Like, what's going on, man?
As with, this is going to be something.
And the Star Rail, here's the best part. Who here thinks the Star Rail autoplay is going to be better than this?
I don't give a fuck, dude. Who cares, bro?
Context of the cooldown manager, of all these other edit mode changes that have come out.
I'm just going to say it. I think people like this are ruining the game. I think that these
I agree with you, by the way. I don't think Dratno should be this involved with the game development of World of Warcraft. I agree.
hyper elitist, super uber 1% players are in the ears of Blizzard, constantly pushing for them to make the game more complex, design the game around.
But they're not. Listen to the conversation they're doing. Listen to the conversation they're having right now. It's the opposite of what you're saying.
Mythic, and this.
They are making the game easier. The game is too easy. Heroic is a joke. Normal's a joke. They added an easier difficulty than LFR, bro. The game is a fucking joke. Glad in solo queue and Blitz is free. It's like $20 right now. The game's dead, homie. Like, have you not played? Sod's dead. That was Classic Plus. Guess what? It's already fucking dead. We don't have legacy servers still. We don't have persistent TBC servers or Wrath servers. It's like,
This is not the way a game should be made. You shouldn't be making a video.
This is subjective. You do this too much, Zach. You start talking like you're an expert on game design, bro. You don't know what the fuck you're saying right now. You don't know what you're talking about. You are not an expert at game design, bud. You're not.
Video game, listening and consulting with people like this, and the problem.
I would make. Excuse me. I would play a game made by Dratnos before I played a game made by you, man. Just saying.
Why is the solution to this not removing these complexities in the first place? It's because people.
We don't need to remove complexities, man. You need to read a fucking paragraph and actually comprehend it.
People like this keep begging them not to because their entire fucking career is based off of it. That's it. The reason why this problem exists is because of the premise that you need all of these people to somehow, for some reason, go and be professional WoW players.
But you understand that what you're saying is completely unbased in reality, right? They're making the game less complex and easier. You're saying that people like this are making the game more complex and harder. You get what you get why people get mad in your chat, right? You get it, right? You're contradicting yourself in real time, homie.
This is what it's all about. It's indirect sabotage. It is. The game is designed around these hyper serious, super.
It's not, dude. They're designing the game around casuals nowadays. You're wrong. You're just wrong.
Professional players, and everybody else has to play a worse version of the game because of it.
Yeah,
That's
no.
Blizzard should never be listening to these people. World of Warcraft.
I don't agree with that either, man. Like look at StarCraft, for instance. I don't know if you ever played RTSs, Zach, but the balance of it has done good and bad for the balance, in my opinion. I'm talking about StarCraft 2 right now. The game is literally balanced by the community, by Team Liquid, and the game is not in a bad spot balance wise right now, and that's because Blizzard literally gave up on the game. Sometimes in competitive games, and I know you don't want to accept that World of Warcraft is a competitive game, but guess what, man? There's MDI, AWC, Race to World First. The game is a competitive game. And yes, they do design the game for competitive players like Counter-Strike does, or League of Legends does, or Dota 2 does, but that's not what's killing the game, man.
Craft is not a competitive game.
Yes, it is.
Not.
Yes, it is. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're just wrong.
Stop trying to make it a hyper-complex, omega competitive game.
Like I said, the game's getting less complex nowadays, man. Like you haven't played the game, and you're talking like it's still Legion, bro.
And just simply make the game fun to play, easy to understand, and intuitive to learn.
Like your brain thinks retail is still
game.
Legion, World of Warcraft.
And Blizzard has
like I swear to God, he still thinks retail WoW is Legion. Like he still has like end of BFA 8.3 almost Legion again vibes. Is like he's thinking the game is like beginning of Shadowlands. Like dude hasn't touched the game in years, I swear to God.
let these people infest and ruin the game ever since Cataclysm. Ever since Cataclysm, they kept making the game harder and harder and harder. And
dude, what are you saying right now? What? The last patch of Cataclysm gave us looking for group. It killed guilds. It started killing the community of the game. Like, Wrath already did a huge number to it with the looking for group tool, but making a queue simulator. But that's the problem with retail WoW nowadays. That's why it's not an MMO anymore, man. It's become a queue simulator.
And more and more and more complex. And I think that they have done so much damage to the game. It doesn't help anybody. It's awful. It's not fun.
Dude, you're like a little baby that doesn't want to read the book he was assigned in fucking English class. That like you've totally missed the plot here, man.
Really, it's just simply not fucking. Kato was 100% the cutoff. Yes, they killed casual playing. They did because these are people.
It's not true, man. I disagree. Kato raids aren't hard. Cho'Gall isn't hard. Like there's mechanics. You got to do the mechanics. I mean, but go back. Look, vanilla WoW is easy, right? Molten Core is a cakewalk. But you know what Blackwing Lair is? BWL? It's not a fucking cakewalk, homie. I know 70% of you, 75% of you listening to this right now have never even done Blackwing Lair, okay? It's not a fucking cakewalk, homie. Yeah, each boss has maybe 1-2 mechanics. Besides, like, Nefarian and, like, I mean, yeah, Crom really, with the, Time Dog, he has a 3 probably, right? But they're good mechanics. They're unique mechanics. Blackwing Lair is challenging if you're new to it. Nax Ramus in vanilla is a challenging raid, and there's only one difficulty of it. There is one Kel'Thuzad to go kill. Yeah, man.
That their job is being good at the game. So they will always want the game to maintain those different, like, skill gap differences.
Dudes, like, you're like those, the tribalism memes. Where, like, you're, like, arguing for, like, the other side because of tribalism. Like, that's literally what you're starting to do, man.
In ceilings, so they can maintain that level of superiority over other players. That's it.
What?
Sweats ruin every fucking game. If Blizzard wanted to fix...
You're wrong. Dude, sweats keep games alive, homie. Sweats keep games alive. Sweats create legacies. Look at Faker. Look at fucking... Hydra, Boxer. Do I have to keep naming fucking esports legends? Fucking Mango. Like, like, players, sweats, good players, create legacies in competitive games.
Fix this. They would remove half of the fucking buttons.
Like, even casters do.
They
Tasteless,
remove half of the
Artosis, Total
effects.
Biscuit.
Why the fuck do you have Polymorph and Hex? Why do you have Horrify and Fear?
Really? Are we doing this right now? We're doing Hex versus Poly versus Horrify versus Fear versus... I get it, okay?
I got CC'd. I can't click Mortal Strike on him. I can't. I'm hexed.
What the hell is wrong with you? What are you, retarded?
What are you, a baby?
The fuck is this?
What, your trinkets down because you're shit?
This complexity is so
Would you trinket the fucking death coil because you're shit?
It's so meaningless. And it's just confusing. It's weird. It's hard to understand. It makes the game completely unapproachable.
Look, Horrify versus Fear is not hard to fucking understand. Okay? If a poison damage over time on you versus a shadow damage over time in an ARPG in Diablo 4 is that easy to understand, and it's not that easy to understand, but it's nuanced enough to where it doesn't really matter. Yes, it matters enough to where your res is capped in both of those things, right? But it doesn't matter enough to where the nuanced difference there is enough for you to care. You see what I'm saying?
And it's like these people have never played anything else other than World of Warcraft. And I know that's not true. I know Dratnos and Max...
Bro, you didn't play anything but World of Warcraft until you touched Dark Souls on stream for the first time. And now all of a sudden you're the fucking king dingling of RPGs. No, you're not. You don't know what the fuck you're saying half the time, dude.
Who played other games. But these people are actively making the game worse by making sure that it retains this competitive edge that is killing it.
The competitive edge is not killing World of Warcraft, man. People like you who shat on the game because it needed it, kept shitting on the game without any basis in reality for a decade.
There was a time 5 years ago in WoW where if you were just getting into the game, there was an intimidating list of these are the add-ons that you need, and if you're not using these, you're kind of worse, right? Like you're noticeably worse if you can't track.
You don't have details. You don't have Omni CD. Yes, I hear you.
So close. You are so close. Oh my god.
Dude, if you read your abilities, you do not need what the fuck are the stupid like what the one they're talking about in this, like hell starts with an H. I don't use those. Dude, I have 99 parses. I have never touched one of those stupid fucking add-ons.
99% of the way there.
Your group member's major cooldown, right? Like, you're worse at Mythic Plus than somebody who is, right? And it seems like the goal that has been accomplished with a lot of these things that have been coming into the base UI is you can use those add-ons if you want, but we now have a native way to the game where you don't have to get an add-on.
That is pretty much.
Which this part is a good precedent to set. I don't know what are you doing over there, bud? I talked about this earlier. This is a good precedent to set with the game. This is the part we should be getting out of this. Shit like bartender has become edit mode in the game. That is very good for the game. Shit like Bagnon has been added to the game. You don't need Bagnon anymore. I still prefer to run it, but you don't have to. You get it? That's all we're saying right here, bud.
Much exactly our long-term philosophical goal here, right? Like, add-ons are amazing.
Fuck!
You don't want a bar graph? I know you love details, homie. I know you love saying I did more damage than you on the bar graph. You don't want that in the game? You're crazy. You're insane, bud. You don't want logs in the game? You're crazy.
Oh god, man! Why does this happen? Why did they do this to my game, man? This is the end? It's not the end. It was the end years ago.
Homie wants to play Genshin Impact and stare at his bank log instead of the combat log, you feel me?
I haven't mauled it out about WoW in months, man.
Thank God. Dude, you might as well just hang it up right now. You might as well just fucking delete the Battle.net client, man. I swear, man. Like, I don't think you're gonna give another good take on World of Warcraft in your life after this one. Jesus Christ.
It's been months. I've been clean, and this had to bring me back in. Does anybody even like what are people saying about? They're all happy. Thanks for coming to our tour. A lot of people have a lot of passion for the game, and that comes to an interview. I've been working at this for a long time.
To you, substantiality having.
What is it? Fucking.
Thank you, boys, so much.
The last time you played the
This
game,
is
look
one
at
of the
that.
main-
What is this fucking? You got his necklace capped out. Congrats, man. Heart of Azeroth. Good job, man.
The
Good
things
job.
that the community has done over the last 20 years to allow people to experience different aesthetics, different functionality, have information available at their fingertips, like that is a huge part of WoW's success, and we don't question or want to undermine that for a moment.
Thought
At the same time,
What?
like as you said, ideally it is about
Wowhead?
what do you want? How
Questy?
do you prefer to have things presented to you, and not what do you have to do? What is a group mate or raid leader or whatever telling you must download? Or if you ask people, hey, how can I get better? I'm really struggling at this. The first answer shouldn't be, well, download this add-on, this add-on, and this add-on, otherwise you're doing it wrong. Because that's starting to get into that mandatory place, whether we like it or not. So yeah.
All right. Here we go. If you want to raid, I'm all for them having like this cinematic. We're gonna talk about raiding. We're gonna talk about details. I think details and combat logs are a great thing for the PvE side of the game. It makes the PvE side of the game a competitive environment and makes just raiding with internet friends or maybe your old real friends fun. Right? Doing a Mythic Plus with a little homie. beating them on the damage meter is fun, right? Right. Why take it out of the game? You don't have to. Guess what? It's an add-on. It's called Details. It's great. Everyone loves it. You hear me? You hear me? It tells you, it tracks your kicks, it tracks your deaths, it tracks your damage, it tracks your healing, it tracks your mitigation. It's a great tool. It's a great tool, and that's all add-ons are tools. And sometimes the tools are too good, so Blizzard needs to monitor them, right? Yeah, sometimes they're a little bit too good. But sometimes they do what they need to do, and they add a whole nother game to your game, right? And that's fun. Don't remove the fun from your game.
Yeah, I think, longer term, these initiatives kind of fit into part of...
No, it's not a joke. This is what they're doing.
How we're thinking about...
This makes me feel like I'm actually mad. No, I'm going to say it right now. I'm actually mad about this.
Of add-ons in WoW. As
they're
we
killing
all
the
agree,
game.
Today, there is a sense that if you want to really be the best you can, if you want to play competitive content, there are certain add-ons that are required, that are simply going to improve your success over not having them, period.
Use the word competitive.
Like
it's a
to get away
buzzword.
from
Oh
that
my
being
god, my buzzword.
I think I'd love to see a WoW one day where you can still...
You're the game director.
He's just talking about the vision, man. The vision.
Customize the aesthetic look of your UI. You can have information and quest helpers and all the other things that you might want to have to make your experience a bit more seamless. But that at the end of the day, when you're in competitive content, when you're queuing up for a rated PvP match, when you're going into a high key, when you're trying to get a first kill on a raid boss, there isn't the sense that you are, just holding yourself back if you're not using specific tools.
I know.
We know that there's a lot of work to do to get to a place where that could be the reality.
It's really not. Like your rotation is not that complicated. Enhance is a proc spec. It has a lot going on. Arcane Mage even has a decent amount going on. I play a lot of Fury Warrior. I play a lot of Affliction Warlock. They both have somewhat going on. You know what I mean? I don't want to... It's really not that bad, man. Please just... We can't be doing this. Just pull a Path of Exile 2. Try to put little in-game videos. Little in-game videos explaining talents, abilities. We already have some of that going on in the tutorial island thing we have now. More of that. Just more quality of life. No playing the game for you. Please. Please no autoplay. Please, God, no.
The first steps really are going to be continuing to build up the just right out of the box functionality that World of Warcraft offers to shrink.
The first... This is not good for your mental health. I just... Have you ever thought what's going to happen with bots for this change? It doesn't matter. Bots will always be able to do things. It's not good for blood pressure. They'll never ban add-ons because it patches up shitty design.
Like, I agree with you for, like, vanilla. Like, vendor price. And there's, like, a lot of jank in the original trilogy of the game that add-ons helped fill the gap. Questy. Details in a way, too. Like damage meters, so you could figure out how to be optimal back in the day without reading and theory crafting. I get it. Okay, I really do. Like, tools are used for certain jobs. Some tools are better at certain other jobs. There is no necessary add-on in modern retail WoW, man. There really isn't. There's no add-on you need to do more damage. It just doesn't exist.
Shrink that gap. But at the same time, I think we're aware that at the very end of this process, we probably are going to have to rein in some of the functionality that add-ons currently have to do like real-time in-combat problem solving specifically, where it's like automating, coordination.
It's just like, this is the easiest, most fucking obvious answer. Yes, you don't want add-ons
Are you talking about automating your raid of people instead of communicating and making a plan? Like, what are we saying?
that calculate things. You don't understand that add-ons that calculate things and add-ons that increase your awareness of things are the same thing, because both of them affect the amount of mental RAM that you're using. And so if you have an add-on that changes your awareness,
Homie just said mental RAM.
it tells you when something is happening. That's not that much different than an add-on that can calculate who goes in what hole and when. The reason why is because
I'll let
both
you
of
finish.
these are active decision-making things that you are doing during the fight. Like
You
this,
done?
it's all this. What hole? No, it's the Mythic Jailer, right? Is the example I was thinking of.
Communication in ways that are
I get what you're saying, but like what I said before. Communication, teamwork. You know, that used to be what it was about, was being able to work as a team, make a plan, execute it.
are always going to be better.
So, like, here's the solution: stop making fights like Mythic Jailer.
No. Please give us more fights like Mythic Jailer. Please, for the love of God, if we have another Gallywix next season, the game is done for. The game is absolutely done for if the next boss is fucking a pushover dog shit, easy trash dog water. Make Asmongold happy because he clicked his space bar 1,000 times and logged into World of Warcraft for the first time this year.
Fucking duh. There's a reason why every other fucking MMO says that add-ons are cheating. It's crazy.
Then
Like, no. You're wrong again. I mean, if you want to talk about another theme park MMO like ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, it's another theme park MMO that's floaty and bad, and it doesn't have a competitive scene because I just said the game engine is floaty and bad. Guild Wars 2 is more obscure, and some people argue that the lore, the world building, the moment-to-moment gameplay is better than World of Warcraft's. They don't use add-ons either, right? And then obviously the other big elephant in the room there is Final Fantasy XIV that doesn't allow add-ons. And the community for that game is one of the worst MMO communities I've ever seen on the internet. The game is not bad. The game is pretty decent. Sometimes in the past decade, I think it's been a little bit better than WoW. But add-ons aren't what killed WoW, bro. Not even close. Have they been a big problem for WoW before? Yes. Is it something they need to keep their finger on the pulse of? Yes.
anything the UI could natively provide you as long as they remain possible.
Yeah, so that moves us into like raid bosses where I don't want to name any names, but there are people who have optimized a little bit of their own fun out of the game sometimes.
Exactly. That's all it is dumb little optimization and min-maxing. Details doesn't make you do 20% more damage. It just reminds you that, oh, look, I'm 20% under the same spec as me. What am I doing wrong? Oh, look, he takes this other talent. Oh, so he can use this ability slightly more, and I should be prioritizing this ability over this ability. That's all that Details is doing for you, man.
Who is it? Who is it? Who's doing it? Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Everything's fine. It's not. Look. It's just a game, right? It's just a game. It's just a game. And I spent 20 years playing this fucking game. 20 fucking
And you
years
suck
playing
at
this
it.
shit.
You're fucking dog shit at it. You're fucking trash.
And
You're a
it's
fucking
been
rat.
taken over by these professional sweats
No. Oh my
that want
God,
to
dude.
ruin a game.
Taken over that want to ruin the... Bro, you ran away to little Weebland. That's what you did. You ran away from the game that made you who you are to little Weebland, and you started swiping your credit card, bro. That's what happened.
Millions of people used to love, and in a lot of cases still do love, because of their bullshit.
I don't know where any of them might be sitting. They could be anywhere. They could be in this room with us.
Hey man, I am the like number
They
one.
are in the room with you. There's 3 of them.
Let's just YOLO this. Let's just do the fight. Let's make it work. And then sometimes it gets to let's try to make something that could be 95% successful, 100 or 99, right?
Planning,
And
communicating.
there's a lot of frustration with the tech involved with that. I would definitely be. I think a lot of the rating community would be pretty for that. You know, I think a well-designed mechanic that the game giving you enough.
To be fair, you did help contribute to the hyper mid-maxing of the game. You're right. If you're watching the react, there's 4 people. No, you're absolutely right. And this is the best part. Is like I was
5.
the problem. Like and that's
Yes,
the thing.
at least
Like,
you're aware
I'm
of
just gonna
it.
say it. Who was the problem? Me. I was the problem. That's it.
Information to solve this on your own realistically. A lot of the times the community will just use one because it's like what everyone else uses, it gets you in the same place. But if that doesn't exist and the game is giving you that information, it's objectively better, right?
And even if you are doing it very well,
Is it
Talking about you're a problem, bro. You were never a problem. You got carried. Every fucking glad you ever had, you got carried.
objectively better to get raid information from native you?
manually, it's always going to be better to do it perfectly in a competitive situation. I mean, having watched, your raid leading, for example, over many, many years over the race to world first, like years ago, you would call much more stuff verbally.
Very
like
true.
going back to
Race to world first. Like, how is this even on their radar?
Bud, look. They're keeping the game relevant by making it a competitive environment. Do you understand? Just because you're not good at it and you're not participating in it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And you can laugh all you want. Go ahead and laugh it up. Yeah, laugh it up, bud.
It's like 50 people.
When you were playing the Burning Crusade, when you were playing Wrath of the Lich King, I guarantee your dumbass on Kel'Thuzad was sitting there on the edge of your seat.
Has Illidan died yet? Have they killed Illidan? Did they kill Arthas yet? Is Arthas dead yet? I want to be the first one to kill him.
So shut, bro, like, come on.
This is so... I can't believe... How is this happening to me? Max is going to say Asmon doesn't play the game anymore?
True based.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point.
There's way more people that have quit the game than are playing it.
the
Yeah.
Legion, BFA
I wonder why.
era, whereas nowadays it seems like if there is something you're calling repeatedly on attempts, the first thing you're doing is asking if, hey,
Trying to automate it.
can we automate this and get me out of the business of talking, which seems like it might be less enjoyable for you as a raid leader.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if we're talking about that, I could talk all day
Sure.
about that. Yeah. No. I mean, I felt like you certainly had more of an impact when you had the ability to, influence the fight more. But the reality is just getting some way to automate it for your players is just better. It is funny. Like,
Look, raid markers are cool. Like, ping system is cool. Good intuitive UI additions in game to help communicate are always a welcome change, in my opinion.
when I do that now,
They're so close, man.
I think, you know, what else can I be doing with my time? I could be like looking at other ways to optimize, and it's purely for the sake of getting better. So yeah, for my own enjoyment, yeah, that's sweet. Let's do that. I'm trying to wonder also about those.
Because everyone remembers the old meme of like the raid leader, you know, not being able to parse because he has to sit there and raid lead the fight. Like I get the problem we're addressing here. Okay, I get
kind of
it.
mechanics. So like what bosses have existed in my head, I think in the past couple of years, there's not many, but have been defined by when we're progressing this boss, we feel like maybe we're progressing a week.
How are you listening to people that are playing the game as a job in the best guild in the world and getting feedback on how you need to design the bosses based off of that?
That's not a bad place to start, man. If you were designing a car, Asmongold, if you were, you know, you're designing a fucking NASCAR to go on the tracks, don't you think you would want to ask Jeff Gordon what he thinks of the car? Don't you think you'd want to ask Jeff Gordon how he feels the car drives around the track? Come on now.
How are you doing this?
Or something like Brood Twist.
Imagine you just retuned your piano, right? Who all of a sudden the zombie of Duke Ellington comes out of the fucking grave and graces your newly tuned piano with his presence. Nah, he can't play it. He a professional. I don't want to know his opinion on my tuning of the piano. What the fuck are you saying?
Or Echo of Neltharion or Jailer maybe was one of the first ones, right? And those mechanics I feel like could not have been done or probably would have been nerfed without weak auras or having that effectiveness of that reduced. What do you do as a fight designer now? Do you I know you're obviously like really passionate about raiding. You've raided for a really long time. What do you have to avoid those kind of assignment mechanics? Are there things in game you can...
Does this differ from your elitist videos from years ago? You were the sweat? Of course! Do you think the Race to World First, MDI, and esports for Blizzard are affecting the situation? Absolutely they are.
Yeah, but not in the way you think they are.
Absolutely. The problem is that the game is built around a very small subset of hyper hardcore players.
It's not. You're wrong, man. They're making the game for casuals nowadays, bro. Like they are. They're making the game for casuals. Just because they made the talent tree actually good again, like serviceable, like a good 7 out of 10 talent tree, doesn't mean the game's complicated, man.
And it's built around maintaining their relevancy and maintaining some form of difference between them and the average player. So
it's not some like oligarchy shadow cabal World of Warcraft developers in cahoots with the fucking Liquid team. Like that's not what's going on, man. I'm sorry, it's just not.
The game is handicapped and hamstrung in order to maintain these artificial skill gap differences. I'll be right back.
Same,
All
dude.
right.
Look, I'm really gonna try to make it through this React video, man. But I need a second, bro. Like, yo, Zach, bro. Maybe 2-week break next time. Maybe you think? Maybe 1 whole month. Maybe play the game that made you who you are a little bit next time. Next break you take. Just a thought. Shit. All right. We're going to make it through this thing. Let's try.
Here we go.
Used to like naturally sort out those things? Like, do you give more time for the mechanics? Like, do you have to stray away from assignments in general because the community has just, whether you like it or not, has like trained themselves to have something solve that for them? Do you have to like go back
It's
into
the
like a more
community's
simple
fault.
version of that? Do you find other ways to make fights difficult?
Kind of,
Obviously
yeah.
A bunch of ways to do that.
The way we design encounters has been influenced in significant ways.
You could
by
tell.
the way players
Yes.
use add-ons. I know, the community sometimes speculates that this was
Obviously.
Yes, yeah.
So you have the entire
You
game.
played
that's
WoW in the
being
past
designed-
decade,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just this game is so lost, bro. Like it's so lost, and there's so many problems.
They should metagame the community, by the way. This isn't an indicator to me that the developers are lost. This is actually an indicator that the devs are awake over there, to me. Just saying.
It's like I don't know if it's ever going to change or improve or anything. Like like how are you designing the game for add-ons? Like it's
Okay, it's literally I don't know if you know what a metagame is, Zach, but that's what they're doing. The developer is your dungeon master, right? And he's trying to make a harder encounter for you, right? You killed the 3-headed growly boar, you killed the 6-headed growly boar. Oh, guess what? You even killed the 7-headed growly boar, but guess what? This time they got a 300,000-headed growly boar coming right for your ass, dude. What do you do? What do you do?
just unreal. Vanilla's the only good version left. I don't understand. That needs a reset? Why? So they could put this into base game? No, the problem is I think WoW does need a reset, but the same people that are making WoW 1 are going to make WoW 2, and it's going to be the same problems with the same game.
The word you're looking for here, the buzzword you're looking for is system bloat. System bloat. Legion had it really bad. And the BFA started to have some system bloat. WoW's always suffered from this problem, man. It's a really old game. There's a lot of systems in it. That's what people are really getting to when they say they want a full reset. They want a new game engine. They want a complete system reset.
Game. That's the issue.
Clearly to require an add-on. I can say that's never the case. No encounter designer is ever sitting around saying, all right, we're going to make this mechanic, and then players will write this week order to solve it this way. All right, mission accomplished, let's ship the boss.
This is a super long video. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I pretty much just want to look at the beginning, but like,
What does he do? Check the state of WoW
this
then?
is crazy for me. Potty C on tour, native replacements for
I don't
games
care
that are
about any of that.
compounded on each. How
When does he start
to
spitting?
one thing the way that, and then I think that the auto rotation in this game is reminiscent of everything that I think is wrong with it. I think that Blizzard has constantly created problems and then has to invent solutions in order to get themselves out of the problem that they.
They've done it before. This is not a case of it, in my opinion. Sorry. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Put themselves in the first place. I think this is just simply another example of Blizzard not understanding and having any way of like intuitively like getting the way that players think. It is more design around the 1%, and
No, it's the opposite of that, man.
This is designing for casuals. Dude, I don't know if you're like listening to yourself speak. They're adding in a button that does your rotation for you, dude. How is that designing the game for the 1%? How? Explain that.
know that it might not make sense to you. You might be like, how's it designed around the 1% if it's accessibility to make everybody play the game? It's simple. It's because the game should be at a baseline to where you don't want to use a one-button rotation.
Oh, God, man. Yes, the game should be intuitive enough to where you shouldn't have to use a one-button rotation. But the game also shouldn't be Diablo 4, where you have 4 buttons, 5, 6 buttons, and you're really only clicking one of those buttons. I know D4 is they've tried a little bit more nowadays to where you are really clicking like 3 of those buttons, and the other 2 you really are just cooldowns that you're smashing the second they're up. Different strokes for different folks, I think here. The game has a good amount of complexity. We're not at Legion levels of complexity. The classes are getting back to kind of where they were in Mist of Pandaria. Like I don't see what you're saying here, man.
Games shouldn't be designed in a
It's
way
not
that
that
is
complex.
so complex.
It's not.
That you have
It is
people
not.
defaulting to use an option. You have to program and like fucking AI in an option into the game so it can autoplay your character for you because there's so many levels of complexity.
There isn't.
You
There
can't
isn't
even
that many
understand
levels
it
of
without
complexity.
3 different add-ons.
Like
conduit energy.
you
Yeah,
don't
that's a
need
perfect
'em.
example. Blizzard has always had this problem, and I think this is a fundamental problem. With WoW.
They've always had it.
They have always had this problem that they
No.
do not understand why the game is good, how players think.
Oh God, dude. Yeah, how many things do you have to say that I disagree with you with before I click pause again? Like,
And they always try to effectively, instead of actually revert back from decisions, they try to just build in more fail-safes from their bad decisions in the first place. So what's happening is that
they've done this before. This is not a case of it.
you have all of these systems that are put in the game.
Look at BFA. Look at Warfronts. Look at Islands. Yeah, it has happened, but this is not one of those times, man.
Compounded on each other, and you have all of these different like mechanics and this design. Like if I watch the way that these new raids are played, like look at this. Like for example, right? I'll just pull up a random WoW stream. Okay.
Sure.
It's absolutely ridiculous. This is.
Let's do it.
This is insane.
Oh yeah.
Really, this is the new raid.
We're
This
on the
is
first boss of the raid.
crazy.
Absolute
Why is
pushover.
this happening?
Complete easy fucking dog shit fight.
And that's basic UI. I think that no, the damage meters are not basic UI. By the way, no, it's not.
It's a clean UI.
But
I like what he has
it's not
going on
that
here.
bad, to be honest, yeah, it is bad. It's bad.
not
Nobody's
that
going to
bad.
see something like that and say, "Oh, this is great. I want to keep doing this." If I can pull up Arena, I think that no,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, what is 12 buttons too many for you? It's just once it goes over 10 buttons for you, man, your brain overloads and you're just like, when there's a damage and a healing meter on someone's screen all at once, it's just too much for you. Is it? I really don't. I don't. What's
damage meters are not
what? He has too many buffs. He's too strong. Too many buffs on his screen.
basic UI. By the way, no, it's not.
It's it's not a default UI. I mean, come on, anyone could tell you that.
But either way, it's not that bad, to be honest. Yeah, it is bad. It's bad. Nobody's going to see something like that
It's not that bad. Yeah, his UI was pretty clean.
and say, "Oh, this is great. I want to
I bet people would hate my UIs more than that.
doing this." If I can pull up Arena, it's even worse. And so anyway, I think
Arena, it's even worse than fucking 8 raid timing mechanics on your screen
this
at
is
once.
really the problem.
CD
that the
tracking
game
with
has,
Gladius is
is
that much
they
worse.
constantly make it more and more and more complex.
No, they are not, bro. That is not what's happening.
And then instead of actually reducing that complexity and moving away from it, instead of that, they just add in ways.
Do you not remember Battle for Azeroth? Like, am I taking crazy pills over? Am I the one smoking crack rock now? Am I doing meth over here? Like what?
To avoid the complexity entirely. The problem is the complexity. So if you involve, like basically, it's like you're building, a river, and now you need to build a bridge to go over the river. You should have never built the river in the first place.
You don't build rivers. What are you saying?
The problem is the river. The bridge is a band-aid. And
Have you ever tried swimming? Have you ever tried maybe like, making it across the river without building a bridge? You ever think there's like multiple solutions to problems? Do you ever think there's like
And this is the issue that I
a
think
level
this
of
game
nuance
has,
to
is
some
that
things?
There's so much complexity to it. There's so much designed around it. And as I said, I'll be honest,
It's not. It's not that bad. It really is. Retail WoW is not that bad nowadays. I'm being serious. It's really not that bad.
think it's guys like this that are professional players of the game that want to maintain the race to world first. They want to maintain the complexity of
There's not some liquid race the world first shadow cabal. That's not what's going on here, man.
the game because it is their job. You need to stop listening to people that play the game for a living, and you need to start looking at what makes a good experience for a person playing the game. Imagine how shitty Elden Ring would have been if it was designed for people that beat Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 1, Sekiro, and Bloodborne. It wasn't. It was designed for people coming into the franchise and they wanted to play a new game. Every boss is Millennia. Yes, every boss is Millennia. Isn't that you, though? No, I'm not playing the game as a job. Yeah, no, that's it. You're saying a game shouldn't be optimized for players like yourself? That is absolutely what I am saying. I am absolutely saying do not design the game for the top 1% of sweats, because if you do, they're the only one.
Look. Oh my god. I am on the opposite side of the coin, man. If you make your game for casuals, you start making Genshin Impact, bro. If you start making your game for casuals, you make Honkai Star Rail. You make slop. You make literal slop. You make, you know that shit that you ever seen that shit that they make chicken nuggets out of at McDonald's? They should just make those into little Genshin characters. The little nuggets should be little Genshin characters. That's how fried this fucking opinion of yours is, bro.
Ones who will keep playing it. That's exactly what I am saying.
You're cooked. You're so cooked you're burnt, bro. You're cooking so hard that you burnt yourself.
Yeah, just don't raid Mythic, man. Just keep doing heroic. I don't know. But like that's the whole problem that you have. Like, just don't do Mythic. Okay, just don't do the hard content.
You want to hear a hot take? There should be one difficulty. There should be one difficulty. If you aren't good at the game, you should not kill the raid boss. If you are not good at the video game, you should not kill the raid boss. If you are not good at the video game, you should not kill the raid boss. How many times do I have to fucking say it?
It's really complex, that's rewarding, that gives you the best gear, because we've made it needlessly complex. Why does it need to be that complex?
It's not. It's not that complex, bro. Do you remember Stand in the Fire, DPS higher? Are all the memes just... What, you did a podcast for fucking 3 years and your brain is just completely rotted out your fucking ear canals? Like, what?
Complex as a baseline in the first place. Who decided this? Well, I'll tell you who decided that. Top 0.001% players that need to use this content as a either job or an ego meter so they can feel better about themselves.
Did you even watch the Race to World First this past season, man? For Gallywix? It was a fucking joke. If they were designing the game for them, that shit would have took like 500 attempts. They're not. That's not what's going on.
This is not a good way of designing the game. You guys are coping so hard, you're not the target audience. I know. That's why I stopped playing.
You are, though. Chat's wrong. Did you just hear yourself earlier? You said you would log in and spam your space bar. You'd log into the garage door opener and click it. You just said it. You are the target audience, dumbass.
Duh.
Duh.
That's exactly what I've said before. That's my whole point. Yes, that's like, duh. Until the design completely crashes the player base, this will keep going on. I quit Mythic Raiding because I didn't wipe 400 times on one boss after my long day of work. Yes. Destiny 2 had a similar problem.
No shit. If you wiped 400 times to Mythic Gallywix, let's say it was a respectable raid boss. Let's say you wiped to Razageth 400 times on Mythic. Dude, by attempt 300, my ass would have been on Path of Exile so fast. Are you serious? And if I really wanted to kill, my ass would have found a new raid team so fast. Probably by the 200th attempt. Just saying.
Because the director's a 1% raider. Look at Yoda's stream right now. He's pushing Mythic. Let me see. Yoda, where's Yoda? I'm not sure really if I can find it there or not. Let me see. Okay. This is crazy. Really, this is insane.
What's so crazy about what we're looking at? Like, yeah, he has a lot of UI elements. It could be a little cleaner.
Cooked WoW is, my friend. Yeah. Cooked WoW is. I guess this is just the way.
So we're looking at a Demon Hunter tank at the highest level. This is a plus 18 Cinder Brew. Looks like fortified, right?
Way it is now, guys.
And this is what an average asmongold viewer expects WoW to look like when they go to start doing Mythic Plus. It's not. This is not, unless you want a healing meter, damage meter, a threat meter. Is that a fucking threat meter on the bottom there? What the fuck even is it on the bottom? Is this? Oh, he's one of those fucking. He wants damage overall versus DPS in the current. Well, these keeds get a threat meter, man. I mean, you don't need one in retail, but like who the fuck has an overall versus a. Like, show kicks at that point. Show fucking mitigation. Show deaths. Show, like... And what? I don't... Yeah, like, he's one of the top players, and I disagree with some of his UI choices, man.
The game, I am no longer the target audience for the game. I think this was done partly by Blizzard and partly by me. Obviously, I haven't played WoW, retail WoW, in quite a while. It sounds kind of sad to say because, you know, it used to be like my main game. I used to love retail WoW. I would play it constantly. But nowadays, I just simply don't have the same level of enthusiasm or interest in it anymore.
You got your script?
And I think this is one of the really big reasons why. And I think it's super sad to see that happen. And... You should attempt a casual play through the max level. Why? I mean, like, I just don't go back to the cave. Yeah, it's boring and lame now. Yeah, I guess so. Bro remembers Burning Crusade. Yeah, I remember Burning Crusade, man. I do.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to make it the whole way through it.
I didn't grow up. I mean, it's not about growing up. It's just my interest changed, and I stopped doing the same thing because I've been doing it for a long time, and I wanted to do other stuff instead. It's not even that.
And that's healthy, and that's okay. I take breaks from the game, too. Like, I haven't played retail in a few months now. I went back for that's the new one on the season launch for Undermine. Did some PvP, killed Gallywix a couple times on a couple characters. Stopped playing.
But Google WoW Classic Raid UI, literally nothing changed over the years. Yes, it has. There's too many things happening on the screen.
The chatter's right, man. If everyone's different, man. Everyone's gonna when you have a custom UI, man, everyone's gonna want to see more, and some people are gonna want to see less. I'm a more minimal guy. I like to see a little less. I do like tracking boss mechanic cooldown timers and my cooldown timers, but that's about it, man.
Screen. You can't tell me that a boss that does 20 different things is the same thing that Chromagus is. It's insane.
They aren't. We're not saying that. We're saying the UI. That's what we're saying, man. We're saying the UI hasn't changed because it hasn't. It's got, they've made it they've added edit mode in, right? So you have bartender baseline now, which is a good thing, man. It's what we were asking for years.
I don't know. I guess this is just another example of me being more certain that I'm no longer the target audience for the game. And as somebody who was a huge fan of the game for years, I'm disappointed in that, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it. That's the way I feel.
I think you're disappointed for a lot of the wrong
It's
reasons,
frustrating.
but yeah, I think it's coming from the same place from both of us.
It's sad.
Yeah, we want the game to be better, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. But if they made your changes, would you start playing again? I'd be more likely to. I mean, I don't want to say I'm going to play the same way I used to. Like, I'd probably play sometimes for sure. Like, same as I played Season of Discovery when it came out. But in a general sense, I mean, do I want to go back and play this game super hardcore forever? No, I don't. But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be designed that way. Those little screenshots were just memes. Nobody uses 4 different raid frames. Yeah, I think so too. But you ever got great memories that involve WoW? It's undeniable. Yeah, I think so. But I just feel like this problem, this solution, what this tells me is that the game is not going to get better anytime soon. And I understand that there's a lot of people that play retail WoW and they still like retail WoW. They think it's a great game. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you have something that you enjoy. But I just can't get into it.
It's yeah, and that's fair, man. Listen, that's fair. Okay? Really. But you can't start talking like you're still an expert on the game and all, like I think I've already gone through it here, but yeah, man, you think the game's too complex nowadays when it's the opposite, man. They're dumbing the game down too much. You almost figured it out like in real time mid video here, man. But yeah, it's the opposite of what you think is happening.
That's all there is to it. I just can't get into it. It's not my thing.
That's fine.
Blizzard's a business. They have to chase the money. I mean, then why are you making it for the 1%?
They aren't.
You should make the call. Do not cover WoW anymore until you feel like it's going in the right direction. I mean, like, why do I have to make a call? Like, I'm just going to talk about it if I feel like there's something interesting to talk about and not if there's not. I mean, I don't make decisions like that. Like, I don't need to, like, draw lines in the sand with myself all the time. Like, I just do what I feel like doing. So, I don't know, man. Did you hear another Crater Clash fighter dropped out of the event? Yeah, I did, actually. I'll look at that in a minute.
Who gives a fuck?
It's all Limit Max's fault because he defends weak auras religiously. They need to ban weak auras. So the problem is that they don't understand that weak auras are not the problem. They are a solution to the problem. The solution would not necessarily need to exist if the problem in itself was solved. The problem is that the game is too overly complex, and it doesn't give you the tools to understand what's happening in a way that...
Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that it's overly complex. It's not, man. Living Bomb walks out, right? Mechanic, okay? It's not overly complicated. It's not overly complicated, okay? It's really not. It really just break it down to brass tacks. It's not that bad. They're not reinventing standing in the fire, bro. They are not. All the weak aura is doing is telling you you're in the fire, man. It's telling you that the ability that he uses that puts fire, the boss that puts fire on the ground, is on cooldown, and it's telling you when it's back up. That's what the weak aura is doing, man.
that's digestible for an average person. And it's over-designed to the point that it is a sensory overload for an average player.
Okay, here we go. Sensory overload. I enjoy games like World of Warcraft and Borderlands. Trust me, I get the sensory overload argument. What a lot of people will use to describe Borderlands 3 and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is they'll say it looks like a unicorn just threw up on my screen. Some people could even say this about a endgame Path of Exile map or even an endgame Diablo 3 or 4 situation. There's a lot going on in your screen. I think even RTS lends itself in the late game to a lot going on on your screen. It's just bound to happen. A level of complexity is bound to arise in games like that. And it would just in modern games. You can't make a simple little baby cookie clicker RPG game with one button. We all know that. And guess what? D4 doesn't work either. Even if you make a 5-6 button game, Diablo 3 and 4 proved that. If you make a little 4, 5, 6 button game, that doesn't work either, man. It could, right? League of Legends, Dota, it can work. But when the main idea is character progression, a huge element in a MOBA, right, in a League of Legends-esque game, character progression and items and, you know, the hyper carry becoming the carry is a thing. It's part of the design there. It's part of what makes it feel so good. Like in Path of Exile 1 or Diablo 2, at the beginning of the game, you're slow as fucking dick cheese. You don't do any fucking damage. And you don't have any of your abilities. But by the end of the game, you have fucking teleport from sorcerer, but you're a fucking barbarian. So you're fucking teleporting all over the map, and you're one-shotting the literal name of the game. You're one-shotting Diablo. It's power fantasy. That's what they do. It's what World of Warcraft tries to do too in an open world, massively multiplayer open world, right? Is it tries to create a power fantasy. It's generally what it's doing.
If people can't understand that, then I don't think that you know what it's like for a new player to get into it. It's palliative solution. Yes, exactly.
I've walked a buddy of mine got into the game in Dragonflight, and trust me, I knew what it was like to try to get him into this game, but luckily he had like another homie that was also trying to get him into the game. So he got like two perspectives, right? Like he got one homie trying to help him and another homie trying to help him so he can learn the game. What's wrong with that? It's an old game, man. It's one of the oldest, biggest MMORPGs. If there isn't system bloat in it, the devs are doing an incredible job, in my opinion.
People use weak auras in Classic too.
Of
yeah,
course.
But they don't need to. That's the difference.
Yeah, just use
Everybody
DBM.
will always optimize the
big
fun
wigs,
out of the game.
right?
But the difference is that in retail WoW, you basically need to. In Classic WoW, you don't.
Bro, there's 3 difficulties before Heroic now, okay? You have like campaign mode, you have LFR, and then you have normal, Zach. I'll tell you right now, I do not have weak auras for the new raid this season. I killed Gallywix on every difficulty up to Heroic without the weak auras. Okay, you don't need them. You can listen to the audio cues and react in real time in the fight. Especially if you've seen the mechanic before and you know how to react. It's really not that bad, man. It really is not. It really is not.
Isn't it a vicious cycle? It's like over-designed because they expect the weak aura? Yeah, it is. And they're even, like, Ian is even saying.
So what you're talking about is metagaming. The dungeon master expects you to know that the growly boar is coming for you. Well, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, right? The expected outcome, right? Like You're saying that the devs are developing mechanics around weak auras, which is true in a way, but not in the way you think it is.
Saying this, he's saying that we over-design fights because of weak auras, basically. Like, yes, is encounter design influenced by add-ons? He says, yeah, it is.
It should
Okay,
be.
well, that's bad.
No, it's not bad.
Which makes
It's a
weak auras
necessary
problem.
step.
Okay, all right, look, listen, I understand, but like, I think weak auras are also a problem. But what my point was is that weak auras, at least in retail WoW, are a symptom of a problem. Like, I think they're both problems.
There should be a in-game audio cue addition, in my opinion, like they just did with CC for PvP, where they created these baseline, more baseline audio cues and visual cues above the player to distinguish each form of CC. They should do a similar thing for styles of mechanics and raid encounters, like a living bomb type mechanic should have a certain sound associated with it. A big bad wolf style mechanic should have, you know, the big bad wolf may runaway little girl style sound with it. But yeah, even if they want to get like super modern with it and do good sound design for the intent of alerting the player of a mechanic, it could be good for the game instead of having DBM and big wigs and weak auras. And
Just remove add-on life support? Yeah, I know. Sod has a good model with the hard modes and stuff? I don't know. I haven't, it's just...
hard modes?
How's the WoW Reddit taking this? When they got dinars? Oh my god. Nice for Potty C hosts small creators like Ian, Official News. These are good foundations, but we need to have add-ons like weak auras frequently updated and rebuilt. Given what their initial version was of the cooldown manage.
You don't even want to read
It's
people's
done, bro.
opinions, man.
Is done. Yep.
They're talking about
It's just that,
add-ons.
that's it.
That's it.
That's just the way it is, boys.
We're talking about the add-on. We're not
That's
reading
life.
that shit.
Man, people seem pretty positive. Maybe you're wrong. Of course they do. I think of course they do. Because so
Do you know why people on the Reddit seem genuinely positive, asmongold? Because genuinely, I know you like to do your little concentric circles meme, but genuinely, people on the Reddit for the gaming community are usually casual dad gamers, man. The sweats, I'll tell you this, the sweats of WoW, I don't even have to compare it to another game, aren't hanging out on the r/WoW subreddit, man. It's just not the reality of the situation, bro.
this is the reason why. I think that WoW has had a seemingly, like, from every observable metric that I can find in terms of, like, let me look at this, like, for example. Actually, it's because, like, this is a problem primarily with retail. So you can look at, like, Classic and Season of Discovery and Hardcore, etc., and they'd all kind of be lumped into this. So, like, Google Trends probably wouldn't work as a good example for this. But here's what I can say, is that, are they just eating it? Yeah, they're eating the shit. Shorekeeper build? Yeah, I was trying to make the character better. And, yeah, I got the character in Wuthering Waves. But anyway, add-ons are great for Cocomelon Brain. Anyway, what's happened is that, of course, the remaining people...
Look, man, this is replacing an add-on that's highlighting what button you should press. Okay, and they're adding in the extra step that's making it Cocomelon baby mode. Like, you guys don't even know what you're making fun of.
People that are playing the game want like this because the game's made for them. What my point is that basically, so here's the problem, okay?
Here we go, dude. We got MS Paint, man. Dude, tell me, bro. Show me.
This is the WoW player base, okay? We're just going to use this as an example. So here's the entire WoW player base. It's the green.
Are we doing concentric circles? Are we doing Venn diagrams again on the asmongold paint?
The problem is that just a second, sorry. Basically,
is this a goblin's cock, or what am I looking at right now? This is Shrek dick. Oh, he's bleeding out of his cock over
these
here.
are all the people that have already stopped playing the game.
Yeah, and like this much of them, like fucking on the other end, same, flip it. They're all dead.
And then the remaining people, obviously, a lot of them like it. Some of them might not, but some of them do. What I'm saying about this is that these decisions are just about maintaining this part right here, and they never think about this massive amount of...
That's who the change is for, bro. That big blue part, that's who the change is for. That's what they're catering to with a one-button rotation. They're catering to this huge... They're catering to you that thinks the game is too complex when it isn't.
Of people that have totally been lost by the game. You see kind of what my point is with this is that there's a huge audience of people that have played WoW over the years, and none of these changes and none of these implementations ever bring back new players.
Oh, God. They do. Don't you remember Classic? Don't you remember Sod? Do you remember coming back and playing the beginning of War Within, or did you already forget that, man? Like, what are we saying? What are we talking about, man?
They just get old players to not, or sorry, current players to not quit the game. That's it. Myself included, I haven't played for about 6 years. They're writing them off as people whose opinions no longer matter. Exactly. And like basically that's what's happened is that now the people
You don't know what's happening.
that are playing the game all the time are the ones whose opinions matter, which in some cases I think makes sense. But the problem is that the result of it is that the entire game...
Dude, your opinion doesn't matter because you don't know what the fuck is going on in the game. Your opinions are so off base that I have to sit here and honestly try to think about your perspective in game time. Like, I actually have to try to remember that you used to be good at this game. Good at this game.
Game now is designed around those people. And as the game becomes increasingly smaller and smaller and smaller, what you're going to have is you're going to have this audience of people. Of course, they're happy about it.
This change is to try to prevent that. That's the whole thing here, man.
Because
You're missing the point.
The ones that are left, and it's been designed for them in the first place.
What's like a good protest analogy here? You're like you're going out and you're protesting like people burning Teslas, but you're doing it in a Tesla, right? But and guess what? You're doing it by crashing your Tesla into the Tesla factory. Like, you're so lost that you've looped the entire way back around. Like, that's actually what's happened here, man. You've lost the plot so hard that you done Yui'd the whole way back around, man. You're going around the bend, homie.
Street Fighter imports modern controls. Single button assistant will be amazing for accessibility. That's a totally separate thing. Like, if you were adding this purely for people that had accessibility problems, then I would be completely okay with it. But here's the reality. So, my mom, back in the day, she had accessibility problems. The reason why is because she had really bad eyesight, right? She was old, she had bad eyesight, her hands were fucked up. And she had to quit playing the game seriously in about really Cataclysm.
Seriously.
Seriously?
Cataclysm was the point. The reason why the game isn't accessible is because there are too many things happening at the same time, and it's overwhelming for a person. That's the reason why it happens.
Do we need to do this again? In Vanilla WoW, you had 40 people. There was, I know there's more interactions per second nowadays in like a 25-man raid group. I get that. Don't get me wrong. But there was more going on back in the day. More. There was more people.
Of course, they're catering to people still playing.
Like-
Why wouldn't they? WoW's a sub game. Blizzard makes money from the subs. Why would they listen to they haven't played WoW in 6 years? Fuck that game, people. Because there's more people that haven't played WoW in 6 years than are people that are playing WoW right now. That's the reason.
All right, that was lovely, man. Yeah, I couldn't disagree more, man.